no California Extreme from me. It's just not in the cards. Kind of bummed. Was really looking forward to the show, but we'll chat some pinball, talk about what's happening out there, answer some emails, and enjoy ourselves here on this lovely Wednesday evening. Coast to Coast Pinball coming to you, episode 94. Let's go. Welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is a podcast commentary of a man out of quarters, coming to you not live from San Diego, California at 10:20 p.m. Recording this on July 9th, 2014. It's a Wednesday night. Not going to make California Extreme this weekend. Have been on the fence. Was really hoping to have my America's Most Haunted by this point because I was going to take it up and show it off. And not there yet. Getting close. I'm sure the spooky folks are going to get me that game soon enough. But since I don't have it, and Teresa and I are nursing our old, poor, roughed up, out of not in the best of health little min pin doggy. We're not going to make the trip. So, sort of bummed. Was really looking forward to it. Had a lot of emails. People who are going to be there. And I wanted to hang out, play some pinball. So, no such luck. What's going on? So, I'm just going to jump right into some news. Let's just hit a bunch of topics, right? Let's talk about some pinball.
Forum static.
So the Dutch Pinball folks have revealed some artwork on the Big Lebowski. And I have to say, what we saw right now is the cabinet artwork in the back glass. And it looks great. Looks really fantastic. They're going really heavy on the bowling theme, which if you've seen the movie makes a lot of sense. And I think also doing the bowling theme ties very nicely into pinball. Pinball bowling, pinball pool, pinball, that sort of stuff's always kind of worked together. So we got to see finally the back glass of what they're looking for. And there's a bowling alley in the background, the Big Lebowski logo, and then the characters from the movie, which are, I don't know if that's photograph or if it's drawing of a photograph, like a realistic type photograph, but it definitely looks like all the characters from the Big Lebowski, so I'm into it. John Goodman, Jeff Bridges, Steve Buscemi, girl whose name I forget at the time, but you know, it is what it is. It looks really good. I like it. So LCD screen, right? That's an LCD screen beneath the beneath the artwork. I don't know that I was realizing it was going to be an LCD screen. Maybe it's not an LCD screen. Maybe that's a colored DMD. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a LCD screen underneath the art. What threw me, though, is with Dutch Pinball being involved in the Bride of Pinball 2.0, I was really just expecting really high quality dots, but that sure looks like an LCD screen. The thing that throws me off here looking at it is it's not a typical screen size. Like, you know, if you look at the Wizard of Oz, you have a normal monitor size aspect ratio, and this looks to be something smaller. So maybe there's a full-size screen in there and we're just seeing part of it, or they have a custom LCD, or I'm totally wrong and that's a color DMD. I don't know. In any case, I think that it goes without saying that the folks at Dutch Pinball have a really good eye for design. Everything we've seen out of them so far has been done very well, very cleanly, very very pro. There's nothing hack about this at all. I'm excited. Not really a theme. You know, I love the movie. Actually, you know, The Big Lebowski is probably like a top 10 movie in my life. I've just watched it a lot, loved it a lot. But not a theme I was like, oh, I have to own that game or anything. It's a game I want to play and then see what I think. It's a game I definitely want to spend some money on. I hope to see them out there. But I'm impressed. I like what we've got going so far with them, and I think Dutch Pinball, having made a nice splash here, they're setting themselves up to really vie for that. Because I think what we're going to see over the next year or two is a jockeying for who comes into third place behind Stern Pinball's obviously the big pinball maker in our industry, and then you have Jersey Jack Pinball has sort of assumed that number 2 position because they sold a lot of games. delivery problems notwithstanding, still going on. And they have a big title, number 2, and then obviously the Pat Lawler. I'll talk about Pat Lawler again in a second here. The Pat Lawler game is number 3, so they've kind of got that foothold on the number 2 position. But number 3 sort of up in the air. I think, it's probably Planetary Pinball Supply, right? Could it be Dutch Pinball with what they've got coming out? Was it Skit B? I think a lot of people thought it was Skit B. 250 games sold right away. Spooky Pinball has a game shipping. They're already shipping their game. And they have a second one, not far behind it. So it's going to be interesting. And you see things like Highway Pinball, I think, is set up to ship their game soon-ish. You have Multimorphic doing something completely different. You can't underestimate games like Wrath of Olympus. There's some other just single games that I think be coming out. It's just really an amazing time, and I find myself doing the podcast talking about all these current events and not doing as much of the history shows. And I will do more of those, and I'm planning on doing more of those. But it's exciting. It's great times. You have, from all this darkness that we had, where we're just one builder building games, to now just a plethora of small run games. I almost hate to use the word boutique. In my industry, in the guitar industry, we have boutique builders, and boutique builders build very small amounts of something, which I guess sort of is in line with some of these companies. But really, they're small run games, or they're independent run games, or independent built games. But anyway, I was excited to see what they've got for the Big Lebowski. They've already shown us like the CAD type drawings of the playfield, which looks very promising. I think we're in good shape. I want to know, are we going to see a prototype of some sort at Expo? Expo's not far away. I'm really bummed I'm missing California Extreme here in July. But Expo's 1, 2, 3 months away. We're like 90 days out from Expo. That's exciting. And I think this is going to be a fantastic Expo for those of us interested in games from new designers. I think that's awesome. So kudos to the guys. I thought their little White Russian toy prototype was also just awesome. Ties in the theme. It looks cool. It's different too. It's just something you've never seen. You've never seen a lit up drink like that on a pinball machine. That's awesome. It's a great idea. I think that's fantastic. So cannot wait to see more out of the Dutch pinball camp going forward. A little bit of a kind of scuffle has sort of popped up in recent days, weeks maybe, with folks who have deposits down with Planetary Pinball Supply, or more specifically, distributors for Planetary Pinball Supply and the Medieval Madness remake. When it was first announced 9 months ago that Planetary Pinball Supply was going to remake Medieval Madness, all 1,000 slots were thought to be sold right away for the LE, which became the LE after they sold so many so quickly, of Medieval Madness remake. And at the time, the word was fully refundable deposits up until the point that Williams approves our prototype or our plans for the game, our build for the game. And that came and went, and Rick at Planetary Pinball Supply was very adamant on, well, hold on, we're not quite there yet. I'm going to extend the deadline. I'll let you know. And the deadline has sort of been set as July 10th, which is, I don't know, tomorrow, today, when most of you are listening to this. And some customers have tried to get refunds from certain distributors and have been told, no, the deadline's passed. You're locked in. If you'd like to, you can sell your spot. And that's been upsetting to many people, or to at least a few people. And, one of those distributors is Jersey Jack Pinball. Under his, business name that he sells games under. He's been a Stern distributor before, and now distributing Medieval Madness. And I think that's kind of an interesting dynamic there, that you have this guy selling games, that builds games and also sells his own games, now taking deposits and having to possibly refund them. Very interesting. So if you are one of those people that maybe want your money back, why did you wait so long? I mean, it's a long time to let somebody hold $1,000. I bailed out really early, and Planetary Pinball Supply was actually my distributor, and they sent me my money back like right away. So they were great on that. I just decided I didn't want to wait so long and have so much money tied up and spend so much money at the time. So I bailed out. But if you're one of these guys that are now requesting a refund, what did you see along the lines now that have caused you to think twice and want to get a refund? And B, why did you wait so long? Were you sort of playing with fire a little bit by waiting so long? It's an interesting conundrum to be in, because I totally get that deadline sort of seemed like a moving target, and it did to me as well reading those threads. But at the same time, if I was really considering getting my money back, I would have probably erred on the side of safety and just got my money back. So I thought that's been an interesting sort of angle coming up for those with money on the Medieval Madness remake, which I think we're getting very, very close to. And I think there will be Medieval Madness remakes waiting for people at California Extreme this weekend. Man, also, congrats to everybody who jumped in on the Iron Man Vault editions. These games are shipping like now. Like, they're happening. We will have unboxings of new Iron Man games like at the end of the week. That's awesome. I think this is one of Stern's big advantages of having, the ability to just turn on a line. I'm sure there's planning and parts and stuff they have to work on, get it up and going, but pretty freaking cool that people are going to be playing brand new Iron Mans this weekend. There's this photo, and I don't even know where it came from, but it's in the thread on Pinside entitled IMVE Owners Post Here, and people posted this photo that I believe is from the photo booth at Stern, where they were taking, photos of it with the new grill and the new glass. And so it has like a blue and red speaker grill area. I think it looks pretty cool. I actually like the comic booky kind of look it gave. Not everybody in the thread seemed to like it, but I think that's awesome. But congrats if you bought that. Interesting to see if any get left over, if there's any Iron Man Vault Editions still at distributors. I know there haven't been many available. Be interesting to see if people bought these to put any of them put out on route. I don't know. I'm excited, though. I think that it's going to be a great thing for Stern in the future if they can, do these 300 to 500, game runs of past hits over the years and kind of supplement A, their sales, and B, their production. I think that's awesome. So if anybody's listening that is getting one of these, by all means, please let me know. Let me know how it goes. What else we got in Forum Static? Oh, yes. Skit Bees is going to be, like I mentioned last episode, announcing their second theme Saturday, I believe 2 p.m. Saturday at California Extreme. Kevin, or at least somebody from Skit Bee, I don't know if it's Kevin, I'm assuming it's Kevin, has been on the Pinside forum inside the thread entitled Skit Bee Second Game ? Kind of dropping hints and eliminating sort of what types of genres the theme could come from, and he's eliminated, I believe, movies and video games have both been eliminated. I may have missed something else in there, but I know movies and video games have both been kind of taking that out. We know that there's a lot of things it isn't. I don't know what it is, though. Very intrigued. I know some of the stuff that I was told led me down one path of what I thought it could be, but I think I'm wrong because it's not looking that way. So very excited for that. Just a really awesome time for all these new games coming out. And we may see a lull. We may see this, all this money being spent on all these brand new games. Are we going to see a lull? I'm also starting to see there's a lot of high-end games popping up for sale lately. I noticed just a week or so ago, one of the prettiest Cactus Canyons I've ever seen in Arizona popped up. We saw a near collector's quality sample version of Circus Voltaire pop up. There's been Medieval Madnesses, obviously, all over the place. So I don't know if that says that people are clearing out older games to buy a bunch of new stuff, or if some of the people that dove headfirst with all their money into the hobby over the past, 36, 48 months or so, because a lot of people came into this hobby in the last 3 to 4 years and dumped a lot of money in. Maybe some of those people are burned out. Maybe some of those people are sick of shooting the Ringmaster now and just getting out of it. Who knows? Or maybe they feel that we've hit peak pricing and it's all downhill and these were investment type purchases. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's interesting watching it happen around us, though. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward. Here's a thread that I can't help but talk about. Suck me in, why don't you? Pinball Hall of Fame. We've decided to pass on Mustang. That's the title of the thread. And Pinside user Pinball-Wiz from location unknown went to Vegas on business, and he went to the Pinball Hall of Fame, and he had never been there, and he was bummed. And I guess he approached Tim and asked the owner of Pinball Hall of Fame, excuse me if I'm shortening that too much, asked him, what's up, where's Mustang? Because he assumed going to the place called the Pinball Hall of Fame would have all the new Sterns. And I guess I can sort of see that. Part of me also thinks if it's the Pinball Hall of Fame, maybe you only buy established hit games, and maybe you don't assume every new game will be there. But I guess the quote he claims from Tim is, "We've decided to pass on Mustang." So the thread sort of goes through the typical problems that some people seem to have when they don't know what to expect when they get to the Hall of Fame, and there's some jokes at Tim Arnold's expense, and I guess for my commentary on the Pinball Hall of Fame is I haven't been there in a couple of years, to be quite honest. It's a cool place to be. There's a lot of great pinball games there. I am bummed out when I see multiples, dozens sometimes of games not up and running. That's always kind of a bummer. However, I think it's an amazing job that Tim is able to keep that thing going, and he donates tons of money to charity. I wish maybe a little bit more of that money was put back into just refurbing the games, but it is what it is. So I wish I could get there more often, quite honestly. Do I think Tim should be buying all the new games? I guess, a year or two ago, I would not have thought so. I actually would have really defended that, decided to pass on this one. But we're sort of in this time period of this resurgence and this boom. And if I'm running a place like the Pinball Hall of Fame, and I'm trying to make it, one of the premier spots to play pinball in the western side of the country, which it is, I would be buying all the new games. The new games get so much hype right now. People are so excited. I would absolutely be buying the new games. Now, I might be selling them in 6 months if I feel that they're not earning enough in location and they're taking a spot out of something new or old that could maybe do better, or it's just a better game. Because it is, if it's truly going to be a Hall of Fame, then don't we need to get rid of some of the duds, right? And I think there are some duds there. There's a lot of games. There's 250 games or so. So I guess in a perfect world, if Nate had a Pinball Hall of Fame, I would be trying to represent all eras if I could. Definitely representing, all the way back from wood rails to the most modern games I could from now. But I'd be picking what are generally regarded as the top games. So if I have to start making cuts, I'm cutting the Roller Coaster Tycoons. I'm cutting the Super Mario Brothers. I'm cutting, probably things like, Diamond Lady or whatever. I'm just cutting that stuff because that's not really, the best of that era. And so in this modern era, now, I'm cutting Avengers and I'm putting Mustang in and seeing how it goes. And I'm sure there was an Avengers at the Pinball Hall of Fame. Last time I was there, I think there was an AC/DC and an Avengers both there, and I know they have a Metallica because I've seen a photo of a listener wearing a Coast2Coast Pinball T-shirt playing Metallica in the Pinball Hall of Fame recently, and I've also know they had a Star Trek of some variety. So they are buying new games, and they just decided no on Mustang. Now in the thread, somebody who seems to have inside information says that Tim is not a fan of John Trudeau games. Says John Trudeau games don't earn, yada yada yada. Maybe that's Tim's opinion. Maybe that's the case. I think if I was Tim, I wouldn't want my friend or my guy or whoever this is out there saying that. It's kind of, I don't know that's the best thing you want out there. But if you truly believe it, then so be it. I don't know. So thought that was interesting. I need to get to Vegas and see the Pinball Hall of Fame again. It's literally been, I think, a year and a half, 2 years since I've been out there. So Teresa and I have been talking about that. I'd love to do it sooner rather than later. All right, last episode, I was asked in the mailbag to discuss the big five designers, and I was just sort of rambling and listed off like who those might be. And as I was doing that, I didn't say Pat Lawler, and that's like really dumb of me because I own a few pinball machines, and it's sort of a constantly evolving and moving collection. But there's one game that is not going anywhere, that is not leaving, that will always be here. That's Twilight Zone. I really love what he's brought to pinball over the years. You could put me on a Bonsai Run. You can put me on an Earthshaker. You can put me in Funhouse. I love these games. No Good Gophers. I mark out for No Good Gophers. Love that game. Ripley's Believe It or Not. I like it. I was making fun of Roller Coaster Tycoon earlier. I don't really like that one so much. Addams Family, Twilight Zone, Whirlwind. I mean, these are great classic games. Even NASCAR, a game that I sort of made fun of for a long time. I sat and played it for a while at the Pinball Wizard Arcade in Pelham, New Hampshire. It's really a pretty good game. It's got a lot going for it. A lot more than I think I realized it had going for it. Of all the Pat Lawler designs, CSI probably is one of the weaker ones to me. Family Guy / Shrek is okay at times. I've actually had some fun playing those games, especially in 2-player games, competing with people. Red and Ted's Roadshow is I think it's a design marvel. There's so much going on in that. It has a cool idea. I don't really love the theme on that, but that to me is not really Pat Lawler as much as it is the theme that they had picked out for that game. So I'm a huge Pat Lawler fan. And I apologize to Pat Lawler for missing and leaving his name off. I will blame Pat Lawler for this, though, because we haven't seen a new Pat Lawler game in all these years, and he's off my radar. He's off my my mindset. But that's going to be fixed because I have faith in Pat Lawler that this game that he's going to do with Jack is going to be awesome. And I have no idea what it's going to be, but I can't wait. I'm very excited for that. That is definitely, of all the little things, everyone's waiting. Everyone wants to see the full, Smog on The Hobbit. Everyone wants to see maybe an updated Pinball Zombies from Beyond the Grave art package. Everyone wants to see what's going to be on the Big Lebowski. The thing that I am secretly is just a fan, just a boy at heart who can't wait to see what it is. I can't wait to see what Pat Lawler and Jersey Jack unveil. I'm really excited about that. It's an original theme. I think Pat's probably been working on something for a while. I think he will innovate. I think there will be a scoop shot to the right. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just teasing. But I'm excited. I'm a huge fan. So I apologize for leaving you out, Pat Lawler. Let's still be friends, right?
Check the email.
The mailbag runneth over. All right, here we go. Let's do this, shall we? This is from Nathan. It's almost my name. Nathan writes to Nate. Subject title, by the way, is episode 100, which freaked me out a little bit because I have not yet done episode 100. This is episode 94, and he wrote me about episode 100, which hasn't happened yet, so I thought maybe this guy's traveling in time. Anyway, so he wrote, Nate, love the show. With episode 100 quickly approaching, what do you have planned, if you will tell me? Well, I guess the first question is, do I have anything planned? Yes, I have something planned. And I've been sort of planning it and thinking about it for a few weeks now. And due to apparently some weird communication, my idea was not able to get resolved until tonight. I have confirmed what will be happening on episode 100 of Coast to Coast Pinball, and I'm very excited. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I am very excited, and it's something that I sort of didn't ever think would happen. I had been led to believe that what I wanted for episode 100 was not possible at one point, and that all changed, and I realized it was possible, and that made me very happy. So I'm very excited. Episode 100 is probably a couple weeks out, but I think it's going to be awesome. So, cannot wait for that. So, to Nathan, who's asked about episode 100, I will not tell you what it is, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. And it will make some people very happy, I believe. So, all right, moving on. I have like 17 emails going, you forgot Pat Lawler. I know. I'm stupid. I forgot Pat Lawler. I get it. All right, so I'm not going to read that either. Had some feedback to the Vonnie D pinball talk from last episode. I'll just tell you it's mixed feedback. Some people were like, yeah, you're right on. Some people were digging into the past history of some of the guys with the company that I'm not going to get into exactly because I don't know all the details and I don't want to pull anything out. I still, open invite, I emailed Vonnie D Pinball. I asked them to come on the show. I've not heard back, so I'm trying. So if you're listening, Vonnie D Pinball, come on the show. Open invitation. Email me, coast2coastpinball@gmail.com. All right, let's see. Longtime listener of the show, Todd Anderson, emailed me, next show, ... Can you update your impressions/satisfaction with Tales from the Crypt? Honeymoon over or just getting started? Todd. All right, Todd. As I turn and spin and look at the Crypt Keeper behind me, the honeymoon is not over. I play it every day. I come home and I play it. And I put LEDs throughout most of it. And in doing so, I fouled something up with my drop targets. I don't know what I did exactly, but the drop targets, which were working perfectly, seem to not be popping back up now after they initially are knocked down until the game is turned off or reset. So I need to dig into that in the next day or two and fix that. I don't know what happened. I did a flipper rebuild, and it's great. So the flippers are just firing really strong and firm. The game's hard, and I actually went online and was reading through the Tales from the Crypt owners thread on Pinside and sort of looking at what other people score on the game, what average scores are. Because I'm averaging somewhere between 150 and 300 million usually on a decent game. And there's people score way, way, way more than that. But, it's hard. And the game gets going sideways on you in a hurry. And my slingshots are set pretty strong. So the ball gets going sideways, and you can end up draining left and right fairly easily. Although I do lose, down the middle quite a bit too. If you miss the scoop shot, you can have some, straight down the middle drains. I love it. I'm such a fan. I love the artwork. I love the call outs, the goofiness of it. The modes to get, completed to get into the Crypt Jam are all different enough that if you just play it and try and score in the modes, there's a lot going on and a lot to do. It's fun. So I catch myself not focusing on just finishing modes and getting to Crypt Jam, because to do that, you really could just start a mode, not really play it, relight the scoop shot, hit the mode, and keep going. And I guess I need to sit down and do that because I've not gotten to this Crypt Jam yet. I've been within one or two of it a couple times, but that was early when I didn't have the game set up as steep as I do now, and I believe I have it at about 6.5 degrees now, roughly. And it's playing a lot faster and harder, and now that my flippers are really strong, the ball gets going, and I'm not doing as well. So, but no, I love it. I absolutely love it. I need to do a few more LEDs in harder to reach spots. There's some lights that are kind of tough to get to. I saw some mods I really like. I want to put one of these rubber toy mods above the left ramp shot, because it's just begging for something there. What I really want is a Crypt Keeper who turns with a pig board inside there from DK Pinball, but I don't know if I'm going to do that quite yet or not, but that would be very cool. No, I love it. That and Twilight Zone are great. My Bride of Pinbot is probably going to get sold. I had somebody inquire from the show, asked if I would sell it to them, but they live too far away, and I don't know. I don't want to deal with shipping that game. I want to sell it locally, I think. So but yeah, so anyway, Todd, I love the game. I think it's a great game. I think it would be a fine game for a single. If you are on a limited budget and can only own one game, I think Tales from the Crypt would be pretty good if you're into the theme. You got to like the theme, because that theme is awfully, specific. But thank you very much for the email. All right, this email is from Aaron. Aaron writes me, I have $2,000. We get these questions all the time. He's going to give me a... Excuse me, let me adjust my mic. He's going to give me a budget, and then he's going to ask me what games to buy. Watch. I know these emails. Nate, I have $2,000. Should I buy an arcade game and a pinball machine, 2 cheap pinball machines, or one $2,000 pinball machine? See, told you. Okay, A, don't buy the arcade machine. Lame. Not my scene. I wish I knew where Aaron was, because if he's local here to California, I would not buy 2 cheap games. I'd just buy one. Probably get a little something more. Depending on where you are, I don't know. Let's look at the eBay, because the eBay might give us a little insight as to what you could get. We're gonna do a little live searching for Aaron here, and we're just gonna find a couple games. We're gonna sort this by price, and we're gonna do $700 to $1,000 and see what games pop up for buy it now only. So then we can see what he could get buying 2 games. And granted, I know that these games are going to be spread across the country or whatever, but stick with me here. All right, so there's a Cyclone for $1,000 at best offer, which, that's not a bad game. Not my favorite game in the world, but not a bad game. It looks to be in definitely okay shape. Yeah, it looks fine. And that game's in Island Lake, Illinois. So there's a Cyclone. So you could have a Cyclone for $1,000, and then that gives you another $1,000. I see there's a bunch of like 70s games, EMs and stuff here you could get. So you could get a Cyclone and an EM, get an Alien Poker. I think that's actually local to here. You could get a 1979 Buck Rogers pinball machine, Gottlieb and Company. There's a Playboy 35th anniversary on here. Data East Playboy. Definitely not an A-list game, but $799, Central Florida. So you get those 2. There's a Special Forces. You don't see Special Forces very often. Early 80s game right there, Bally game. That's a thought. So you're looking at like 2 C-list games. You might sneak a B-lister in there. I think Cyclone in a lot of people's world would be a B-list game, but likely 2 older games, or a B-list and another B-list, something like that. I'm sure if you peruse Craigslist, you can find deals and get lucky. If you lived here in San Diego, and I don't know where you are, so I'm just gonna pretend right now, Aaron, that you live in San Diego, and if we were to pop up onto the Craigslist and look at pinball and sort it by 500 to 1100, what would you have for sale? Well, you'd have the same ad that pops up all the time that always lists $800 as their starting point. They have a Tales of the Arabian Nights for $8,000. Love that game. That's too much money. They have a Police Force, $1,600. Firepower, $1,300. Gulfstream, $800. Or you could buy one game here, Last Action Hero for $2,200. They'd probably take $2,000. You'd be happy. So that's not bad. Up in Lake Elsinore, which is local to here, there's the same Grand Prix EM that's been there forever. $900. Just seeing if there's anything else out here that Road Kings. There's a Williams Road Kings System 11 game for $1,100. So stuff like that. That's what you're gonna get for $2,000. If you're just gonna pop up to $2,000, if we jump back onto eBay and we do our little eBay search of pinball machines and change our budget and look at it completely differently and look at it from like $1,700 to like $2,100. And do buy it nows there, this is where now you're looking at a whole different set of games. Now we see things like RoboCop popping up, obscure title, really fun game. I like that game a lot. I played it in Texas this year for the first time. 1777 or best offer. Let's see where that RoboCop game is, just for the fun of it, and see what kind of condition that's in. 'Cause that's in New Jersey, in Allenhurst, New Jersey. The game looks in, That game's a decent looking playing game. I can't get these photos to load right, but that looks all right. Obviously, you buyer beware. Go check this out. Here in Southern California, there's a Lethal Weapon 3 that's been up for a long time. I'm looking at game titles here like Rescue 911, Flash, Xenon. Get a Haunted House, which I would not recommend as like your first and only game, but I like the game. Another Lethal Weapon 3, Twister, more modern game. It's a Sega game. So now you're looking at B and C-list games of the more modern era. So I think you're looking at B-list games more older, C-list games more modern, that type of stuff. And then you're gonna sneak in some things like I figured there'd be some really nice game pop up in here, but there really wasn't anything that amazing. So maybe it's two games will keep you happier in Southern Cal or in San Diego on Craigslist. There's an X-Files right now for $2,000. Very modern game. There's a Terminator 2. There's a Maverick in Reseda. Go get Maverick, and then you'll become a giant fan of the Pinball Podcast. There's another Terminator 2 in that price range. Demolition Man, that's a good one right there. So lots of options. There's lots of games. You can do a lot with $2,000, and then keep on the lookout for deals. So I do appreciate the email, Aaron. All right, next email is from Paul. Paul writes, "Where is Teresa? We haven't heard from her in a while." It's a great question. Where is Teresa.
Getting in bed with Teresa.
Hey, Teresa!
Hi, Nate.
What's going on?
I was getting ready to start looking at teachery things to purchase.
What is a teachery thing to purchase?
Like pocket charts and number charts and books and...
Do you love when I ask you questions that you can answer with a list?
You know that I do!
Teresa loves to, like, give me lists. Like, sometimes I'll say, so what'd you do today? And then I have to just, like, sit down and get ready.
I love it! I like to write them, I like to say them.
Where have you been? I had an email from a listener who his whole email to me was just, where's Teresa been? And I was like, I don't know. Where have you been?
I've been in the basement where you keep me locked up.
We don't have a basement.
Well, we were in Oregon forever.
That's been documented, yes.
Oh, okay. And then I've had several days pass by with not knowing where they went. That happens in the summertime as a teacher. I get into summer mode.
Because you have 10 weeks off. 10 weeks off.
Yes, it makes up for all those arduous hours.
I'm so jealous of you. I'm so jealous of you.
Literally, people don't know this.
Do you know how much pinball you could play with 10 weeks off?
Well, no, like the first, like you remember, like the first 2 weeks, I was still going up to school on my computer all the time and working and preparing things for next year. And then, like, the third week, I'm like, I don't need to look at that much stuff on my computer.
Are you trying to tell me those first 2 weeks you were still working? Because that is not the case.
I was 100% still, like, working almost the whole day.
Teresa,
every day.
this is not coast-to-coast rationalization of your 10-week vacation.
No,
This is coast-to-coast pinball.
But here's the thing. Then you can finally sleep past 6:30. Then you make it to 7 one day.
And how late did you sleep today?
Well, I got to 8 o'clock. It was my first 8 o'clock morning all summer.
You realize I'd been at work for well over an hour at that point.
Oh, you get no sympathy from me. But I love you.
10 weeks off. So how much pinball have you been playing?
The only pinball I've played in recent time was at the place.
Sunset Lanes.
Yeah, that place is horrible.
Be nice.
Dude, I'm sorry. There
Be
is a
nice.
creepy teen worker on her break sitting on the floor next to where we were playing pinball, just watching us.
She was getting ready to play Dance Dance Revolution, I'm
No.
pretty sure. No?
It smelled like smoke / disinfectant that was going to burn my nostrils out.
Oh.
People were
So
staring
what did you
at
think?
us.
Have you ever played that game before? The Simpsons? The Data
that one,
the Data
no.
East Simpsons? No?
I kind of liked the way it looked.
It looks okay.
You know I like the other one, though.
Yeah, the Simpsons Pinball Party.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. So, in local San Diego pinball news, Nickel City is moving 7 miles south.
I know.
Which is much closer to us. And they're going to have 8 to 12 pinball machines.
Told me it's very exciting.
Yes.
I'm excited. That's actually cool.
Are you going to come to the league? Are you going to come play in the San Diego Pinball Club and play in the league one night?
I don't know. Do girls do that?
Sure. I played against a girl at
Did
one
she
of those.
beat you?
No, I beat her.
I am so crappy at pinball. I feel
Actually,
like
you know what? I'm wrong. She did beat me. I lost to her. That's right.
I don't think they'd want me. I'm horrible at pinball.
No, you're more money in the pool. Of course they'd want you.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, if there's some night that you're going to go, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I need to do more of that. So,
You've only done it a couple of times.
I know. I'm gone a lot.
I can be ranked last.
You could. It is possible. We were talking earlier on the podcast, on the show here, on Coast2Coast Pinball episode 94.
Holy cow, babe.
94, right? So we were talking about the Pinball Hall of Fame and how we need to go.
I know. It's just so hard with our dog.
It is. Our little dog is not doing well. I referenced him in the open of the show.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been doing. I've been laying next to my min pin and petting him and crying intermittently.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Don't bring my listeners down now.
Oh, sorry.
You're
everybody.
depressing the whole world of pinball right now.
Well, he's the most precious little baby. Anyone I know,
He's great.
you guys, listeners, have
You should start a
animals
show
that you
called
love.
Coast to Coast Minpin.
He has been coast to coast.
He has been coast to coast.
He is a traveled little dog.
All right. So, are you and the Crypt Keeper getting along better?
I just don't look at him.
No.
I don't like his face.
Now, when you start the game and he says, "Tonight we have a story about a man with 3 balls," does that make you feel? Do you feel a little disenfranchised?
No, I mean,
Because you're like, I don't have 3 balls, and I'm not a man.
At least there's like, I mean, I know you're like, the Crypt Keeper, it's funny. I'm like, he's not funny looking. He's horrifying. He's like rotting flesh.
No, but he's funny. He has a good sense of humor.
Yeah. So the kitschiness.
It's like why you're with
of the
me,
game-
because I have a good sense of humor.
Whatever. That's one of the many reasons why I love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like to look at him at all. In fact, I don't like to look at any of the art on that machine. It's gross. I don't like it. I'm sorry, artists, whoever you are, you're very talented. That's just not my bag. And so when I play, I just kind of blur it out.
Gotcha. How's Skylab going for you? You playing a lot of Skylab out in the living room?
I don't know what that is.
It's the game in our dining room. It's the big box out there that's plugged into the wall that you never play.
Okay. That game is kind of not boring. That's boring.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Should we sell it?
I mean, you do what you want. It's pretty.
Sell
I
it
think
and
it's
buy
cool.
like a Metallica Pro.
How about you sell
It's an even
Bright
trade, right?
Pinball?
Skylab for Metallica Pro.
Skylab and a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, that.
Bright Pinball. Let's discuss that one.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
Yeah.
Well, we got to go back to the show.
I thought, are you gonna ask? Oh yeah, I guess you asked me pinball questions.
Yeah, I try.
You did good.
All right.
I would like to go to the Hall of Fame again too, and I would like to wear tennis shoes and bring my own stool since they have none, and I would like to have snacks in the car so that we can go eat. Yeah.
There's a lot of food in Las Vegas. You realize that, right?
I know, but it's kind of out in like the actual town.
Yeah, you know. One
last thing.
Oh, yeah, go
Pinball
ahead.
Hall of Fame. Please get more stools. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure.
And little-
Tim's gonna get right on that.
And little carpety, those little smushy
Hey,
things.
call Tim tomorrow and say, "Hey, Tim, you know what would make the Pinball Hall of Fame really
Little
great is some
squares.
carpet."
Like
yeah,
little
call him and see how
squares.
that goes. Try that, please.
I bet he could have them donated from a carpet company. Bam. Teachers get them donated to their classrooms all the time. Booyah. In your face.
Better yet, I'll take you there and you can tell Tim that to his
Tim,
face. See how that goes over.
You should let a carpet company know all the charity work that you give to, and they will give you their little sealed off, nice, perfectly beautiful carpet samples you can put in front of each of your pins. That way, after 2 hours, your customers don't have shin splints.
Shin splints, you say.
My legs hurt so bad after leaving there.
Coast2Coast shin splints with Terry.
Shut up. I think it's a good idea, and it would be free.
So, one other thing. Remember a while back, like a long time ago, there was a Kickstarter to have this giant pinball
The
Hall of Fame
museum.
museum
Yes.
in Banning, California.
Yes, I
They had
remember.
like 500 some games, right?
Yeah.
So, those people are opening a place called Arcade Expo in that building.
Where
and they're going to
is
have,
that?
in Banning, California, Inland Empire, like in
Okay.
between Riverside and Palm Springs. About an hour
like,
and
okay.
25 minutes from here, hour and 40 minutes from here, something like that.
When is that going to open?
So it's going to be like the Papa model in Pittsburgh.
like only open
2
a little
times a
bit.
year.
That's it?
2 times a year.
How do
They
you
have
make
2 big
money?
events. Well, I don't exactly. You hold big events. So instead
You,
of
like,
charging
rent it
like
out for a
$5
party.
for an hour, you charge $50 a weekend per person. You try and get hundreds of people or something like that. You hold tournaments that weekend. Possibly they'll rent it out for parties and stuff.
I think they should open it more often.
Well,
Like
Look.
once a month.
Look. I personally would love to see that, and I would go anytime I could. But that's right now, from what I can tell, their plan is 2 big events a year. The first one being in January, and we'll get to go.
I'll get to go.
You'll get to go.
I swear these people, they probably think you have me chained up, like I said, in the basement. Because I don't get to ever go to any of
And
the
like I
events.
said, if I did have you chained up, it would not be in the basement because there's no basement.
I know, but it's, scarier
All
that
right,
way.
we're getting the wrap-up
All right.
signal from the
From
producer.
you.
Oh, from me. Yeah, it's me. All right. Well, say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well.
They're doing great.
Okay.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
All right, that's it. That's all. Episode 94 of Coast to Coast Pinball is a wrap. Thank you guys very much for listening. Check out the other podcasts that are going on right now. I know the Pinheads from Australia just released a new episode. That is out. I just got through the last spooky episode. There were 2 episodes from the Game Room Junkies based off the Southern Fried Game Room Expo that are definite good listens, so check those out. Support all the other podcasts. It's a great community of people. If you want to chat with me, you can email me at coastpinball@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff. And we will have the Fallout from California Extreme coming to you this weekend on episode 95. So until then, take care.